Here's why airplane windows have a tiny hole. So if you've been on an airplane before, I'm sure you've seen those tiny holes on windows, right? And they're actually called bleed holes, and they have a pretty important purpose because they actually help windows from shattering. The holes help regulate the pressure inside the plane when it's going up and down, and it also prevents the windows from fogging up, so we can all enjoy the amazing views when we're flying. Here's why you should never swap seats on the plane. So if you've ever been on a plane, you might have been tempted to swap seats at some point. But did you know swapping seats could affect the plane's center of gravity? Let me explain. Because before takeoff, pilots need to adjust their route and their thrust based on the weight distribution of the plane. And if the calculations are off just by a little bit, there's a higher chance the plane will actually crash. And another reason, if the plane was to crash and there was no survivors, detectives will be able to know who you are based on which seat you booked. Here's why bathroom doors don't reach the floor. Alright, so I'm sure you've used public bathrooms before where the doors don't reach the floor, right? And even though it's annoying, it actually has a purpose. Because first of all, it makes it much easier to clean multiple times a day, so the owners end up saving on cost. And it's also much easier to see if someone is in danger, because if an accident was to happen inside a stall, people just have to bend over to see what's happening, making it much faster. Do you think they should change the design? These are the luckiest people who beat the system. Alright, so apparently this couple didn't want to pay for dessert because it was too expensive. So they decided to fake a proposal to get it for free. I don't know if I should be super impressed or disappointed. Next, most schools don't allow students to eat in class, right? So this student decided to put cheese inside a glue stick. But what happens when his teacher catches him eating glue? And talking about school, during an exam, students were asked to explain the cause of deforestation. So a student decided to write this and actually got full marks for it. What a genius. And finally, during a test, a teacher asked her students to spell 5 words correctly. And a clever student wrote this, and he even got 2 extra marks for it. Everyday habits, they're actually bad for you. If you're having troubles falling asleep, it might be because you're using your phone before bed. Artificial light from your phone reduces the amount of melatonin you create, which helps you fall asleep. Next, if you stop yourself from sneezing when you actually have to, it's actually bad for you, because the pressure in your brain is increased, which might cause you to have headaches and hearing problems in the future. And finally, if you're drinking from the same plastic bottle every single day, you might be more prone to getting sick, because over time the bottle gets tiny cracks in it where bacteria can actually grow. Can you find the hidden dog in this picture? Alright, so around 90% of people can see the old man wearing a hat in this picture. But did you know that only 10% of people can actually see a dog? So if you can find it, let me know what the dog is doing.